U.S. holidays. This covers Virginia SOL 2.5. The students will describe why United States citizens, wow, cannot talk tonight, celebrate major holidays. The first holiday we're going to review is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Now remember, last week we talked about Martin Luther King Jr. and how he was an important part of the civil rights movement. So, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is a day in January that is used to remember Martin Luther King, who was the minister who worked for all people to be treated fairly. This is an important day for American civil rights and remembering the sacrifices that Martin Luther King Jr. and all of the other people who were working for civil rights made. All those sacrifices and all the things that they had to fight for and give up to get the rights that they have today. Next up, we have President's Day. So President's Day is the one that's also known as George Washington Day. This is when we honor all of the presidents of the United States, but especially George Washington, hence why it's called George Washington Day. George Washington Day is celebrated in February. Other presidents we might celebrate, as you can see in the picture, Abraham Lincoln, really all the U.S. presidents that we've had over the years, Thomas Jefferson. But remember, especially George Washington, because President's Day is also known as George Washington Day. Then we have Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a day to remember the Americans who have died while serving their country. So soldiers who have been killed while serving their country are celebrated, recognized, and remembered on this day. Memorial Day is celebrated in May. One way you can remember this, I taught this to my kids. I don't know about Miss Rebuck and Miss Holbrook, but if you did, you can join in. If you didn't learn this yet, you can just listen and practice it later when you're trying to remember and review doing your choice boards. So, here it is. Here's a little trick. Memorial Day. Memorial Day starts with an M. Memorial Day is in May. Both of them start with an M. We have Memorial Day with an M and May with an M. This one is probably one of the ones that you're most familiar with, the 4th of July. The 4th of July is also known as Independence Day or America's birthday. This is when we get to celebrate the U.S. becoming a brand new country. And obviously the 4th of July is celebrated on July 4th every year, which is why it's called the 4th of July. Labor Day. This is the one that comes right when we get back to school. So we're in school for about a week, and then we have a day off to celebrate the contributions, so what people gave to the country, sorry, had a moment there, gave to the country through their work. It's a day for us to remember, appreciate, recognize the people in the working class. So if you look at the picture, policemen, doctors, firefighters, musicians, really anyone who is working, and recognize how they build our country up and make our country better. Labor Day, like I said, right after we get back to school in September. So we come back, then we have Labor Day. Columbus Day. Just like we talked about Martin Luther King Jr. last week, we talked about Columbus last week. Who can tell me what Columbus did? Good. Columbus is the one who is credited with discovering America, but more importantly, he led the way for European exploration into the Americas. Columbus Day is celebrated in October. Veterans Day. This is the one that always gets confused with Memorial Day. But remember, Memorial Day is for the servicemen and women who have died. And Memorial Day, which starts with an M, is in May. Good. This is Veterans Day. Veterans Day is a day to remember and respect and appreciate anyone who has ever served our country in the military. Whether they're alive or not, it's a day to remember all of them. So this is celebrated on November 11th every year. Now, if Memorial Day is in May, Veterans Day is in November. So you have the V in Veterans Day and the V in November. Memorial Day is in May. Veterans Day is in November. I want you to say that with me. Memorial Day, May. Veterans Day, November. Good. And last but not least, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the day that we remember when the first settlers and colonists shared the harvest with the American Indians. This is also celebrated in November. This one's towards the end of November. It's celebrated over that break that we have before winter break. It's that one that's usually a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we come back to school on Monday. So, Thanksgiving and Veterans Day are in November. Good. All right. One last time before I let you go. Memorial Day is in May. Veterans Day is in November. What else is in November? Thanksgiving. Good job. Let's see. Which one is in October? Oh, you need to go back? That's okay. We can go back. Look at that. Columbus Day. Remember, Christopher Columbus. Columbus Day is in October. Which one is in September? Good. Labor Day. Good. Which one celebrates the country's birthday? Good. The 4th of July. Then we also have which one recognizes an important famous American from the Civil Rights Movement? Good. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. All right. And then we have a day in February that recognizes a very important person. His name was George Washington. It's on the tip of my tongue. I think it also recognizes one of our other famous Americans. Can you help me out? President's Day. That's right. You're so smart. All right. So we have Martin Luther King Jr. Day in January, President's Day in February, Memorial Day in May, 4th of July in July, Labor Day in September, Columbus Day in October, Veterans Day in November, And Thanksgiving also in November. Good luck on your choice boards. I know you'll do fantastic. We love you. We miss you. Keep up the great work. Keep studying. Keep reviewing. Keep spending time at home with your family. Love you guys.